Ladies and gentlemen, through time and space, disagreements have been known to disunite man.
But here on the Great Debaters Contest, we bring together over 500 schools to agree on Kenya's #1 debate platform. I'm your host, Chris Boru.
And I am Esperanza Kapanga. The motion today is, foreign aid should replace trade.
Proposing this motion, we have Nakuru Girls High School.
And opposing the motion, we have Ndururumo High School. Proposer number 1, you have 3 minutes.
Discretion is the better part of valor, and beggars are not choosers. I'm Moro Nyanganyi from Nakuru Girls High School. I proudly stand to propose the motion that foreign aid should be replaced with trade. First, what is foreign aid? Foreign aid is the giving and loaning of resources from one country to another, while trade, this is the buying and selling of goods with an aim of making profit, either between people or countries. On to my first point. Trade brings economic development and growth. Economic development and growth comes hand in hand with manufacturing and industries. This comes about due to international trade. Because when a country signs itself into international trade, it will work hard so that to reach and satisfy the needs of the international market. Because not every country produces the same goods. I'll give an instance. China signed itself into international trade. And currently, the GDP of China is 11.2 trillion. Imagine, 11.2 trillion. This is an increment of 1.8% from the past 2 years. This is according to the world statistics. On to my second point. As given by Angel B. Kwemo, of the Making Africa Great Again, she gave a clear comparison between two types of countries. A country that depends on foreign aid and a country that participates actively in trade. The country that depends on foreign aid, I would say an example of Liberia. Liberia receives a massive amount of aid. For example, in 2011, it received 765 million. According to the OECD, it received 765 million, which is equal to 73% of its national gross income. We expected the country to grow economically, but instead it became more poorer. Why? They engage in mega trade activities, and all they think about is how to pay back the debt. And then another example, Asian countries. Asian countries receive very little aid, but they have registered a high economic growth. And it is noted that the number of poor people each year reduces by 627 in every 1,000. That's a wow. If you could compare to other countries, third world countries, that depend on foreign aid, let me tell you, that country has gone far. And for your information, Kenya is the hub of trade activities in East Africa. But what are we registering? 14.57% GDP in exports and 23.36 GDP in the imports. That is as given by Kenya Trade Statistics. So think about it. Thank you.
First opposer, you have 3 minutes to make a statement.
As the Swahili saying goes, one who praises the rain because it has showered on him or her. And that is why I, Wanjiru Muturi, from Ndururumo High School, stand before you to oppose the motion that states foreign aid should be replaced with trade. Why do I not second the motion? This is because I am a fact addict. And let's get started with the terminologies. What is foreign, you ask? Foreign is something that is not from your country, that is from another country. Aid, this is help or support, and therefore, foreign aid refers to any resources given from one entity to another across national borders for the benefit of the receiving country. These sources may include money, construction materials, and also manpower. For example, we have got the 100 Cuban doctors who are recently in the country to train our medical personnel. The doctors are here due to foreign aid. And I'm asking, are we going to be suffering each and every time because we do not want support, because we think that you're greater But still, we need the foreign aid. For trade to thrive, we need money. Where do you get the money? Do we steal? No, it is still the same foreign aid that we are relying on. And for us to grow in the same trade, we still require the foreign aid so that we can develop our markets, our industries, and our economies. Secondly, if you can remember very well, during the drought and the hunger period that had struck our country in Turkana, the government had to call on for foreign aid so that the citizens in Turkana could get food. And therefore, where would this support come from? It came from the international agencies like the UN. Would we have stayed and kept silent to see our own people die? Would we have sat there? Would our leaders have just stayed stagnant to see their fellow citizens die because of hunger and they had a solution? That is therefore why we are opposing the motion that foreign aid should be replaced with trade. For trade, yes, we do not disagree with you. We do disagree with you, but for what you're saying, for trade to be replaced with foreign aid has to come before trade. We cannot get to the legs before we get to the head. Not forgetting, we are a third world country. We therefore need help to make us grow, to make us change, and to make our economy thrive so that you can call or we can use trade. Thank you.
Second proposer, you have 3 minutes for cross-examination.
The work of my hands is better than the work of your hands. Better still is the work of our hands. Craig Lonston said, I'm in a hole because I found a shovel. What if I decided to trade the shovel with a ladder so I can rise to success? Chemtai Mercy, Nakuru Girls High School, concurring with the motion that says foreign aid should be replaced with trade. To my opposers, how can you develop a country with debts? There's no way you are going to borrow money from other countries and expect to rise. The foreign aid you are going to be given is definitely going to lead to another debt. And there's no way you are going to tell me that I am going to pay another debt and expect to rise. Moreover, how can you develop markets in your own country, yet you have not traded? Therefore, I don't think foreign aid is going to assist your country. So, to my first point, unity. Unity is strength, and through unity, we can rise. Through trade, we can make this world a global village. Trade has strengthened the nations. Trade has brought nations together through peaceful and mutually beneficial exchanges, contributing to the peace and stability in the countries. A good example of the countries is Kenya and China. Just tell me, how strong is the bond between Kenya and China? Just like the strong covalent bond, where we know is the strongest bond. You can compare the bond between Kenya and China with a strong covalent bond. Therefore, I think we should be talking about trade. According to the Center of Economy Policy, that states that there is a lower probability of disputes escalating to conflict among trading countries due to opportunity cost associated with the loss of trade gains. So therefore, I think that we should all be riding in trade. We should all be supporting trade. So therefore, if you think that you want to rise, if you think that you want to make Kenya a better place, then join us in trade. To my second point, a Buddha once said, do not dwell in the past. Do not dream of the future. Concentrate in the present. So tell me, how many people or how many youngsters do you think are unemployed in Kenya? About 40% of unemployed youths are in our country, or rather our world. So you just tell me, how do you expect me to keep studying all those years without employment? Without the so-called fruits of employment? No, I don't think I am ready to study all those approximately 21 years without employment. So as I conclude, Giving financial aid to despondent nations is a humanitarian gesture and promises several benefits. But the system also has loopholes. A good example of the loopholes is overdependence. Therefore, I think the best way to address this is to come up with a structural design to ensure that we all benefit. You trade, I trade, we all benefit. 1,000 miles starts with a single step. Let's make trade the first step to our success. Let's make trade the first step we'll take to make Kenya a better place, a place that everyone will aspire to be. Thank you.
Second opposer, you have 3 minutes for your examination.
Well known, seeing is believing. It is seeing the impact that foreign aid has on our country that I'm here to strongly oppose the motion that states that foreign aid should be replaced by trade. Ngibwini Mary from Ndururumo High School. I'll start first by correcting my opponents. Debts you talk about, debts you say. But I have a question. Where do you get the capital to start that trade? And the investment that these foreign trade are helping us to get is where we get the revenue or the money to pay those debts. So for trade to occur, we need foreign trade. And to my first point, foreign aid helps in exploiting natural resources needed for trade, that supposed trade that we are talking about, which is really impossible to start trade than foreign trade. For example, according to www.unenvironment.org, financing from Italy boosted geothermal development in Kenya. Citizens thus have access to energy because it is more available, thus it is available at a lower price. That will help us achieve our SDG number 7, which talks of affordable and clean energy. On to my second point. Foreign aid can be used in rebuilding of a nation's economy after crisis, which is almost impossible if we depend on trade. Remember the Second World War? Remember the adverse negative effects it had on countries, that one of the countries include Japan. Adverse effects, massive destruction of property, killing of people. According to www.usnews.com, US donated an estimate of 182 billion, which was used in the reconstruction of Japan's economy. Today, you hear of Japan, you think of prosperity. Japan is one of the most industrialized countries we know due to that foreign aid. Should they have waited for trade to occur so that they can get the money to reconstruct the economy? No, I suppose. On to my third point. Foreign aid aids in development of infrastructure and more achievement of goals of development like infrastructure. For example, I believe we're all familiar with the standard gauge railway, with the thicker superhighway funded by China. We can all attest to all the benefits that that transport system has really positively helped our country. Do we need any more to know or see to know that we need foreign aid? Thank you for the time.
For the question session, the proposers have been asked, is the problem really that we get foreign aid, or is it that we get bad management of the foreign aid that we receive? The opposers have been asked, isn't accepting Western aid making us more dependent on the Western countries and accumulating more debt on our economy? Proposer number 3, you have 3 minutes to answer the question.
A wise man once said, you gain satisfaction from what you work hard for and not what you gain. And then they also say that today I teach you fishing, tomorrow you're supposed to know how to do it. Well, it's Edwina Achieng from Nakuru Girls High School here to proudly propose the motion that states, Foreign aid should be replaced by trade. I'll start by answering the question posed to me by my friend from Moiforces Lanet. It's how the foreign trade provides. It is the foreign aid because we have to return the money with interest, but through trade, both parties benefit. And I'll tell you something, that life consists not in holding good cards, but in playing those cards well. On to my first point, I'll tell you one thing. Evil will always remain evil, no matter how you try to coat it. Well, why do I say this? Everyone is here advocating for foreign aid, but do you think about the consequences it will cost? I'm talking about corruption, and I mean corruption. Corruption has been an issue in the third developing countries, and yet you're here advocating for foreign aid, something that brings back what you've been trying to eradicate. According to Pauline Hanson, a European financial manager, she stated that in one financial year, America spends $1.5 billion, and I mean $1.5 billion on foreign aid, which is 20% of American people's money. But what worries us is, where does this money go to? How do the recipient countries take this money? In 2011, Nigeria had an issue that they were given foreign aid, but the whole money was squandered by mismanagement and the corrupt officials present. Are we still going to advocate for something that brings back bad memories to a country? It hurts so much that my friends blinded with foreign aid, yet we should be thinking of bettering what we have. According to European Commission, between 2000 and 2008, the GDP per capita increased from $325 to $625 in the least developing countries. And you still want to talk about foreign aid? Seriously? And I mean seriously? You cannot convince me, because I am team foreign trade till death do us part. I will leave you with one statement. Only a fool does the same thing and expects a change. Thank you.
Third opposer, you have 3 minutes to respond to your question.
A problem shared is a problem half solved. Modoni Clara Charity, Ndururumo High School. You've asked about the foreign trade. We do not want to completely abolish the foreign trade. We are only telling you that foreign trade can never happen without foreign aid. Corruption, you say. Corruption is only a small percentage of our problems when you compare it to the benefits that we get from the foreign aid. One of the benefits is to enhance national safety and security. Remember, in 2011, from www.thestars.co.ke, war in Somalia by the Al-Shabaab. What would have been of Somalia if Kenya had not intervened in the war? Somalia would be no more, since the Al-Shabaab was stronger than their soldiers. The Al-Shabaab would have done away with the Somalia as a country, but Kenya intervened in their war, and that's what we call the foreign aid. Foreign aid, we said, it's like helping another country to develop economically, to develop technically, to be a better country than it is. Foreign aid, it increases our investments. When we get money from the other countries, not even money, the technical help, the manpower, everything that we get from them, we invest it. When we invest it, on our country as Kenya, it depends on the taxes that we get, that we tax on the businesses and everything that the government has got in it. The taxes are hence used as revenue in our government. What do we do with our money? We provide the free education to the students, both primary and the secondary. We facilitate our health sector using that money. Again, it increases the rate of development in those countries. Let's take, for example, the history of USA, Canada, Australia, and Norway. When they were developing, they borrowed money from other countries so that they can reach to where they are. I don't see any problem in borrowing, only a fool who remains the same.
Proposers, you have 1 minute to make a final statement.
Paul Charlson once said, Taiwan gives a lot of aid to Costa Rica, and it basically seems like they are buying the right to fish even though illegal. We say we want to eradicate poverty, but then, do you know we are radiating it? You go and borrow a loan, you go and take a debt, and then you expect to grow economically. Seriously. After all that proof we've given you, after all that you've said, after the example of China having 11.2 trillion, you still sit back and say, foreign aid. We are tired with this chit-chat of foreign aid. Consider trade. We want to move 2 steps forward and not 2 steps backward. And I stand for trade because we have seen it has more benefits. We have seen it helps us grow economically. It helps our country to develop, to be competitive, and we get unity. So you still sit back and say foreign aid, look like miserable children borrowing things? No, we have to depend on ourselves. Amoro Nyanganyi, Nakuru Girls High School.
Opposers, you have 1 minute for final submission.
Foreign aid should be abolished, but the time for that is not yet here. We are a developing country. We have many developing countries. We need, or rather the developing countries need medicine, that military support, that manpower, that relief food to develop. Will we die just because our ego is too high to receive aid? Will we starve because our pride makes us not to receive the food from abroad? We need foreign aid because we are developing. It is necessary to develop. It is necessary for us to grow as countries. Maybe sometime we reach for all of us to be developed. So for now, let not foreign aid be abolished because we need it. Thank
you. Nakuru girls, let's trade. That's what you're telling us. And I think I love Amoro. You give the perfect examples. You give China's growth as a result of trade. You took us to Liberia and how they have suffered as a result of foreign aid. That was well done for you, all right? Mercy, good role playing. The cross-examination was on point. I think you talked about the creation of employment that comes as a result of trade. So it was good. I think you came in and mentioned, that was Edwina, I think it was Edwina that talked about, today I teach you fishing, tomorrow you know how to do it by yourself. I think you meant today I give you fish, tomorrow you do it yourself, is it? Yes, I could tell that. Anyway, probably that one passed, but we noted that. So the examples you gave of corruption were good and the likes. Many other examples, but the example you gave on Nigeria in 2011, I would have loved to know the source as well so that you can build your case. Aid can be given for bad motives, is it? I think there could have been more examples on that. Ndururumo, Rose, very good examples in the way you start as well, the Cuban doctors and all that we need the money to grow the trade. And I think for you as a team, you took the stand to say, we need this money first to do the trade. Mary, excellent. I think there's something about you. Good start, good cross-examination. The examples you gave had all citations. The infrastructure, that was commendable. And I think you're a very good debater. So keep it up. Clara, Investments on aid and the likes. Yes, you talked about investment, but this time around your energy was a bit low, okay? You know, especially after Mary has come in and set a pace on another level, you want that some time to as well, because remember this is persuasion, all right? You want to keep that pace, but that was still well done. All the best. Let's wait for the results.
To our debaters, know that the Great Debaters Contest would not be if it wasn't for you. Regardless of the results, you are all great debaters. Nakuru Girls High School, the judges awarded you 70.8%. Let's clap for them. Ndururumo High School, the judges awarded you 70.5%, making Nakuru Girls the winners of this debate. Congratulations to both teams, a job well done.
That's the end of the debate today at the Great Debaters Contest, but the conversation continues on all our social media platforms, #GDC for SDGs. I have been your host, Esperance Kapanga.
And I am Chris Buru. Until the next episode, see you same place, same time.